Welcome to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. All health, no high. Here's your host, Mary Lisa Lawless.
Hello, everyone. So I am not Mary Lisa Lawless, obviously.
I am.
But I am Jeremy, and I am here to welcome everyone to a beautiful 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first session after the new year. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and excited to get into this today because Mary Lisa, ever since we met, I've had the pleasure of coming to experience some of what you offer at Hemp Del Sol. And I know that you're constantly doing new things and you're growing the business. So today we're going to welcome to the show Andy Perez, who's going to be working with you this year with some new services. Hey, Andy, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Living the dream. So I thought, being that this is the first episode of 2025, this would be a fitting time to talk a little bit about what you have planned for this year and what types of services you'll be offering, and then wing it from there. And we'll get into some of the things that I've experienced through Hemp Del Sol and Crystal Del Sol, some of the stuff that I'm working on personally and how that kind of meshes with what you do over there. So with that being said, why don't you kick us off and tell us a little bit about what you have planned for this great year, 2025.
Okay. So, yeah. Oh, we've got so much planned, including another new business. However, what I'm doing with Hemp Del Sol, what we're doing here is we have been increasing the collective of this collection of alternative healing practices that are everything we can do prior to saying, all right, you need medication. So there's so many different ways to heal, and everybody heals differently from all different things that are going on in their life. Some really extreme, some not so extreme, but we all could use a little bit of help. And that's how Hemp Del Sol came to be, is just looking for alternatives to the pharmaceuticals as a first response. Y'all have heard me say this over and over. Part of what we have done is we continue to add all these different modalities. So for the past year, we've had a Reiki circle here twice a month. And it's been really awesome. So we're looking forward to doing more of that. So we have this young woman. So let me back up. I am a Reiki master, but I don't do a lot of the things that I'm trained to do. I am an herbalist. So I don't need to be the expert in all these areas. What I've done is I've brought in people that specialize in these areas that we're going to be doing. Yes. So Ellie's actually been here all year. And she's been doing the Reiki circle twice a month for the whole year. It's been really successful. Everyone has said that it's been really awesome. The mayor even came one time. Having the mayor show up, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So then moving forward, who I've had here for years, but again, didn't do a lot of advertising, was Maurice Israel. He is a medium and does online, but he does work here in the office, and he has been doing demonstration classes here every other month to try and teach people about mediumship and talk more about it. My sister, who we've met in previous podcasts, Melinda, is also a psychodramatist. So psychodrama does role playing. It does all these other psychodramatist. And so it offers healing in a lot of different ways, but it also can work to create better business relationships, better relationships in general. It's not necessarily therapy, but it pulls in all of different things, again, in healing. So she does that also as a demonstration class every other month. Who we are bringing in starting in January, I have drum roll.
Let me get
one of the women who has also done some work here. Her name is Caroline Sequin. She does Akashic Records, and healing through Akashic Records is Akashic Records is a psychic record of your life and all of your lifetimes for those who look at past lives. And it's very interesting because it's everything that's going up in the ether. So she's able to go in and do readings of sort. I've been working with her myself, and it's very interesting. And we're really going way into the woo, but it's fun.
Diving deep.
And I do. Anybody that knows me knows I do deep. I don't do shallow. It's like I go into the deep end. Caroline is also going to be working here starting in January.
Excellent.
Or in February, actually. She'll be here in February. Most of her work that she does now, because she works with people all around the world, is online. However, she'll be here physically in February. And
mind, body,
also
and spirit.
then I'm starting with another psychic card reader, like reading tarot and oracle cards. She starts here tomorrow. And so her name is Joelle. She'll be here. That's another piece that we've added. On top of that, then I have this other woman. Her name is Norika. Some people call her Nikki. And all she does is past life regressions. And so she'll be here starting this month as well. And each of these people specialize in one thing. And that was the piece that was important to me, because while I know how to do past life regressions, I am a Reiki master, I am an herbalist, I'm a little scattered. So I'm still doing my psychotherapy. And that's my calling. That's my spiritual practice. So I know about all of these things, but they have not been specialties of mine. So then we move forward. So we've got all of these other players, and then we have Andy Perez. And Andy does a little bit of everything. So can you tell them a little bit about you?
Okay, so we're going to get deep into woo-woo now. Since I was 4 years old, I have seen spirits. I have spoken to relatives that have passed on. They can tell me where to find stuff and locate things. So it was a bit shocking and surprising to me when it started happening, but I was 4, so I don't know. I just been doing a little bit of it all my life. Put it aside while I was, growing up. Got married to a guy who was very into these kind of practices, but he wouldn't admit it because he had grown up Catholic. And they were very against any kind of thing that resembled witchcraft or something like that. Ooh. Yes. But he could see auras and he did spells. And he noticed early on that I seemed to be able to do this kind of stuff too. So when he's passed on about 18 months ago, I started hearing him. And I was like, oh my God, is this for real? Do I need a psychiatrist or something? But he started talking to other people. It's like the guy's like really chatty. And Marilisa heard him, and Maurice heard him, and half of my friends hear him. And he comes and he visits and he talks to me every morning. And he said, you can do a lot of stuff, so let's just try what you can actually do. It started with, I did this odd things. I went into someone's house. They were saying that they had someone spirit kind of messing with them. So I went in and I moved all of their stuff around and I said some spells and the ghosty left. Then I did this like 3 times. So I realized that's a niche I could fill. I could literally go into somebody's house, put all their crystals and stuff in an organized fashion where they want to go, because I can talk to rocks and they answer me, and figure out where they want to go in your house. And I can close these vortex things so that things don't come through. So that's one skill I have. Another skill I have has to do with being able to center chakra centers. So you have 7 or 8, actually 9, but we're not going to go there. Energy centers that run through your body that link you to this plane, which has a core within the earth, up to other realms, to your higher self. So most people, believe it or not, are fractured into 2 places. You have part of your soul here and part of your soul somewhere else. And there's a cord that just runs through your body from there to the center. And you need to identify where your energy fields are in whack or out of whack, or where it is that you need to be able to concentrate on to make yourself more knowledgeable, spiritual, or even make yourself better. I'm good at identifying that also, but mostly I want to help you identify it. So I'm going to do two things. One are like personal readings where I have these cards and we can work together to figure out, what it is that will help you personally be self-actualized to make yourself better. And then I had these ideas for these magical tea parties. So really explaining a series of 8 workshops where we get together and we do in-depth exploration of each energy center or chakra and what kind of foods will help with that to open up those chakras, those energy centers, but also to help you identify each one and how to work with them. There'll be tea, there'll be food, there'll be an art project. I was a teacher for 36 years, so I really am into like all these craftsy kind of things and all these singing and dancing and things that are just fun. Because if you haven't done any of this stuff before, it isn't the witchcraft stuff. It's more, this is fun. There's different ways to perceive the world, and this is just one avenue that can help you before you find yourself going and getting yourself all drugged up somewhere because you're hurting over something.
So one of the things that's been happening and why I thought it was a good idea for Andy to like narrow her focus is that she's been a part of most of the Reiki circles. And after the Reiki circle, then she starts talking about the things that she sees and the other things that she can suggest to people to move them along energetically and help them with their healing. And so as she's been pulling together her little business plan here, I've had her practicing this past weekend. She did all these readings with 3 people. One was my other sister and 2 were friends of ours. And she sat and she didn't know. So these are cold, what is called a cold reading with 2 of them. She didn't know anything about them, anything. And they were so impressed with what she did. They were like, we'll pay to see her. And the other one was my sister. So it wasn't quite that cold because she knows me, but was still able to give her information that I wasn't privy to and no one else knew about. We're looking forward to all kinds of new fun things. And again, all of this, the CBD, using all the hemp-based products. I've got new products coming. There's a new daytime gummy. There's sleep gummies. There's tinctures and capsules. There's all these things that are alternatives to medication. We've got different essential oils. I'm recommending different herbs for different types of healing. There's so many alternatives to pharmaceuticals. We don't have to be trapped there. I'm not saying pharmaceuticals don't have a place, but we don't have to be trapped there.
Yeah, we're too quick to put that Band-Aid on. It's immediate gratification, right? It's the thing that can fix
and
us.
Insurance. That's the other
insurance.
piece.
It's a whole
Insurance will cover a lot of these medications. And because of financial stress, a lot of people don't want to look at alternatives. Just give me the pill because my insurance will charge me $5 copay.
Yeah.
And I get that. Sometimes it is a fiscal issue, but we're here and we're trying to offer just every different service. If you've got something that you'd like to recommend, Jeremy, we're open.
So as I look through my journey into spirituality and self-development and just really awakening, going back to my first awakening that I had from an ayahuasca experience, probably, I want to say 4 years ago, and I had a full-blown kundalini awakening. And I was experiencing all these weird symptoms after the ceremony. And I talked to my friend Brian, and he mentioned the kundalini awakening. I always thought this stuff as was like woo, and I always had a closed mind to it. I started researching, and it was like, this is an actual thing. I'm going through this. This is documented. It opened me up to really just be less judgmental about all this stuff, because I think human beings, we have confirmation bias, and we tend to tell ourselves the stories that we think are right. And oftentimes those stories are wrong. So I've really come a long way in terms of just opening myself up to every perspective and hearing it out and experiencing these things. And one of the things that I did with you recently, I brought my wife, was the Reiki healing that I'd never done before. I'd always been interested in doing it. And it was a really wonderful experience. Very grounded, very meditative. Meditate, is that the word? Meditative?
Meditative.
There you go. Okay. And then one of the things that I thought was really cool was after the ceremony, we were sitting down and talking, and my wife made a comment to me after, because she shared with the group, and she doesn't normally do things like that with new people. And she told me afterwards, that was really cool. And I loved the whole process, and the experience was great. And then after opening up, letting my guard down and being vulnerable and sharing in that setting was really helpful. And I really liked it. And that's a lot of the stuff that we do when we go away on retreats. It's all about, again, letting your walls down, letting your guard down, becoming vulnerable, being open to accepting these things. And the more that you do, the more in tune you get with yourself and the more authentic you become. And it's just this wonderful process. So I'm always interested to see what you guys have on the horizon and what you're doing over there, because it's become such an instrumental part of my life. And I love doing breath work. I love doing the cold therapy, the ice bath. I love sound healing. I love doing all this stuff. And I just keep adding new things to it. One of the things we're starting in 2025, we actually just recorded our first episode. We have a new podcast called Microdose the Mind. My friend Brian, he's basically in training to become a shaman. So he's
awesome.
This stuff has really changed his life. And I'm in this because of him, because I witnessed his transformation firsthand. I witnessed him go from being reliant on pharmaceuticals. He had a rare autoimmune disorder called mast cell disease, I think it's called. And they just gave him a bunch of pills. He was on prednisone. He was suicidal. He was broken out in these giant boils. He was just miserable. And then he got introduced to this whole plant medicine space and healing from within. And he's been down this path, and it's become his life now. And because I witnessed his transformation firsthand and I see what it did to him, and now I'm experiencing it, like I'm all in on it. And so we released this new podcast, Microdose the Mind. Wow. I want to have you on at some point. And basically, obviously microdose, we're talking about microdosing like psilocybin mushrooms, but not just that. It's about microdosing your mind with daily habits, daily rituals, daily practices, all these different things that you mentioned, all these different modalities, and really having experts in each of these areas come on the show and share with the audience what's worked for them in that space, and really trying to spread that message to help people heal from within instead of looking for external factors to heal themselves. So I'm really excited about that.
Good.
And we're going to get you on there, and you're going to talk about all that you do for sure.
Absolutely. I would love it. Yeah. And that's really everything that we're doing is about just how do we make the world a kinder, more loving place? Because that's how we heal the planet. One person at a time, just finding ways to be kind and be our best self. Mm-hmm. That we don't have, it really isn't rocket science. If we can spread kindness and spread well-being through just that, just being able to say hello, be able to look somebody in the face, just be nice. We're on the right track. So that's my spiel. Be kind.
Be grateful. Gratitude. I am so, the older I get, the more grateful I become. The time is fleeting, and I just look at it. I'm about to turn 45, and I'm looking at it like I'm about to start the second half of my life. And I'm so positive about what's to come. I'm really awash with gratitude, and even for the difficult experiences, and even for the times where I lose my shit. Yeah. And I have those moments, like I draw from that positively as well, because I always reflect back on those experiences, and I realize that everything is happening for a reason and is trying to teach me a lesson. So when I get triggered and I have an interaction with my wife and she says something and it just triggers me and the walls go up and we're wrong, and like when I sit back and I sit with that and I really look into and I dig into that emotion, more often than not, what I realize is that it's me projecting. I'm seeing she's projecting back at me the things about me that I don't like about myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I sit with that,
when I get to that place where I can say, I'm triggered, let's stop talking right now. So I got to go figure this out because what you said just triggered me. I do that with my sisters because that's who I'm closest to. So yes, when I get triggered, I'm like, okay, stop. I got to go figure this out. And then we'll come back and try again.
Yeah. And then through that process, you just get different iterations of growth and development. And then you figure out things about yourself that you really don't like and that need work. And you just shine awareness on that. And just being aware of that, just having that in your mind is the start of that process. It can be overwhelming at times, and you feel like you want to get get past it. But the process is going through the process is what it takes to grow. And it's painful sometimes, but it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Exactly.
And also, people need to be cognizant of the interconnectedness, the interconnective tissue that they actually have with each other. when you're in somebody else's force field, when you're within each other's energy, just talking to each other, you're exchanging atoms. You're exchanging things that actually bind you all together. So they can either make you feel very frizzled, or they can make you feel together. And that's the aspect of kindness that we're all looking for. We're looking for that interconnective tissue that makes it so that you're not frizzling or burning each other's synapses and nervous system.
We are all interconnected. And there's a lot of science behind this. Isn't just there's quantum physics and string theory and all these other things that are saying it's all energy. Everything's energy. So let's just put out the good stuff.
And there's so much that we still have to discover, and there's so much that we don't understand. To just discount something because it's out of the realm of normal, or what's deemed as normal in society, is nonsense. To explore all these issues, you have to experience some of this stuff. Like I say, when we go on these retreats, and we have these powerful plant medicine experiences and these powerful experiences bonding with people, they are some of the most powerful experiences and transformative experiences I've had in my life. And it doesn't do it justice to just talk about it. You have to go. And I know you've done silent retreats and all this type of stuff where you really sit with yourself.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It really is. And I'm so blessed and grateful to be here in this moment and to have the people around me that I have. I see myself transforming. Like I'm doing more podcasts now with people that are in this type of space. And it's just it seems like everything is coming together and everything is happening for a reason and converging towards this thing, which I just love. I've met so many great people. So you guys included, of course.
Women, we are women guys here.
Gals, women, come on.
Yeah, and I think that what Hemp Del Sol with this new way of working this coming year is actually doing for you and for people and for anybody who comes here is you'll be able to connect to that interconnectedness within yourself, depending on the different options that you take. It's about building a community of people, whether you're coming for a service or whether it's giving a service. They do this give and take of transforming this kind of foggy energy that we've been going through for a long time into something clear and constructive that will in turn realign the planet to be able to breathe better. It's all about breathing. It's all about this flow in and out of breath.
The breath is so powerful. I've been...
Yeah, whether it's the trees, whether it's the earth itself, finding this airiness through the water cycle and through the earth exchange cycle and through the mystical cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and just as we start to wrap up here is what I am going to also be doing is creating a new business called Lawless Coaching. And what that will be is for people that really aren't interested in therapy, but they're interested in gaining some insight into different things and maybe experiencing some different things. And again, it's not necessarily therapy. So it's not insurance, it's not that, but offering a different type of support to people. So that's coming this year also.
That has a nice ring to it. Mm-hmm. Lawless coaching. You can do a lot with that name. I like it.
We can.
Yeah.
And it's just my last name. So it just fell into place. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Okay. I guess, unless you have anything else to add, I guess that about wraps it up. And I'll let you know as we progress with the Microdose the Mind podcast. I think you'd be a wonderful guest to come on and share your expertise with our audience there. So
awesome.
All good stuff. All right.
Happy New Year.
Ladies. See? Not guys. Ladies. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We always enjoy sharing with you and just becoming vulnerable and talking about what we're doing and spreading the message of gratitude and joy and kindness and just putting out all this great energy in the universe. Because that's what we're on a mission to help. We're on a mission to help people unlock their hidden potential within, because we all have the potential for greatness. You just have to tap into it and you'll be good to go.
Absolutely.
Happy
Everyone
New
out there,
Year's.
what's that?
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, everyone. Have a wonderful 2025. And we will catch you next time on the next episode of the Hemp Del Sol podcast. Everyone take care.
Thank you for listening to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. Explore our wide range of organic products at hempdelsol.com. That's HEMPDELSOUL.com or contact 954-854-1039.